Hello and welcome to Matt's Rocks. Today I'm going to cut this piece of petrified wood. I thought I'd check and see if I could fit it in here. I've got two other, petrified wood. Yeah, that's petrified. That's petrified wood. I was also going to try to see if I could cut these two Brazilian agates, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to because they're just so rough shaped that I don't know they're going to fit in my vise. And I don't really want to cut them by hand because I don't want them to be lopsided. Instead of squared off. I don't want them to be lopsided, so I'm just going to cut this one first and see what happens from there, and we'll go from there. But I'm looking for something else to do that might pique your interests a little more, and I'm wanting to see how this piece of petrified wood is going to come out, because it doesn't look all that bad. Right, as far as the fractures go, but I haven't cut into it yet, so I'm gonna have to use this little piece of wood to keep my blade guard from sticking and holding it back from feeding. That ought to do her, I hope. We'll find out. But this is one of those deals where it's not going to do much good for me to try to film it, because I've accidentally turned it on a couple of times and with my guard flipped all the way back, and this will sit on there with the guard flipped all the way back. And I got it all messed up. I just haven't cleaned it up yet, but I'm trying to get something to do because I've got just 2 days to get something ready if I don't want to use old footage, and I'd just rather not use old footage. This might help, but I want to do this video and another video in the next couple of days, hopefully. So anyway, I need 3 of these. So I can keep it from splattering all over the place. I might want to set the I already got anti-seize on me. Forgot to set up my to make it feed properly. Okay, there we go. Okay, that was me just getting the blade started. Pushed it forward. I cheated, so that way it doesn't scoot the blade to one side or another and make a bad cut. Okay, here's the first slab. This is the heel. I made it thick on purpose. Well, I didn't actually think it was going to come out that thick, but it did. I was just trying to make it straight across on the end and didn't want to lose too much. But it is pretty thick, but I'll be able to get something with it, I'm sure. And it's got fractures along this side. Wipe some of this oil off of it. does have a little bit of a fracture running in here too, but it stops right there. And then there's this one up here that comes off there, but that's just a little section. That popped right off. At least as much as it was going to anyway. Turn it around the right way. I think those other two might not be too big of a deal. Because this one's really, it's got really thin right here. And that fracture runs here, and that pit right there, or fracture where it's broke off on the back side, or on the heel side, is just about the same depth. So I'm not going to lose anything there. But that's the first one. Stick it in my oil dry and get another one started. I've already got it set up, moved it over to the right. I'm going to cut this one thinner. This is going to be a 1/4 inch cut. I may cut a 3/8 cut after this. I don't know yet. Depends on what it looks like further inside. But here we go. There it is. Guess I better tighten that down so I don't move over part way through and bind up my saw. That's what that's what allows you to do this. You can lock it in once you've got it in place with a thumb screw. Okay, here we go. Okay, here's the second slab. I like the looks of this. I cut this one a lot thinner. This one's going to go for adopt cabs. I'm still going to cut, I think I'll cut one more thin one, just so that in case I need to make like a necklace and earrings, I'll have room for 3 cabs for 2 sets or thereabouts, depending on how I do it. And then I'm going to start, then I'll go with the 3/4 inch to finish up the last of it, so that I can make regular freeform cabs, or maybe even a heavy domed adopt cab. We'll see what goes on there. Let me put this in the oil dry and go ahead and get started on the next one. Yeah, I had a couple of pieces chip off of that from the start. That one took off more than, that's how thick the cab was. This piece here just chipped off and stayed stuck with it. How did I get so? Oh, I set it down beside here. So that might make its own little cab. I'm not going to put it in there though. Okay, here we go. 1/4 inch. Get it close enough that it won't take long or take much of a little push to get it up in there. Okay, good. That's still good and tight. I don't know why I'm wiping my hands off. This thing's going to be nasty anyway. I'll have to clean this up pretty soon. It's hard to clean that mineral oil off of there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start that, and I'm not going to make you put up with the noise because it's a real high-pitched whine. Okay, here's the third slice, or slab. And this piece came off of it. And I'm gonna, this fracture here, I'm gonna go ahead and take that off. I think I might leave that one because I don't think it's going to break off because it only goes down to here. This fracture only goes down so far on both sides. So I don't know if I'll be able to keep it, but I also don't know whether I'm going to, well, I won't be able to use it, so. That was easy. There it is. There it is. Took me a while to figure out how to get that piece, which piece it was. I've got all four of them sitting here. I may make cabs out of them. If nothing else, I'll just tumble them. But anyway, let me go ahead and get this one in the, I've got another fracture coming across here on this side that doesn't line up with the other side, but I also have like a little fracture here. This piece might chip off, but that's no big deal. Nice looking slabs though. I like this. And they're a lot less fractured than the other ones. So let me go ahead and clear off my little grit or little chippy stuff so that it doesn't infect my saw moving. I usually put these little pieces of flakes and chips in with my ceramics. As you can see, I've got some on top of the jar to kind of help. It takes a while to wear them down also, same with the ceramics themselves. Takes a while to wear them down in the grit, unless you're using 60-80 grit, which normally I don't put ceramics in with it, but I will put my chips in there for a little while, just depending on what I'm using. I'll use them on the first stage, or the first vibratory tumbling stage that I use in my lotto tumbler. And I'll put them in that first stage, and that 120 grit will drop them down or round them off so they don't scratch anything in the finer grits. And then I can use them in the finer grits in the final polish also. Okay, here we go. Let's back this thing up. Oh, you got to pull the doohickey back, dummy. Okay, this one's going to be a 3/8 inch. Might help if I had it out past the blade before I tried to move it over. There it is. I'm cutting all over this wood. I'm glad it don't hurt my blade any. Oh, I got that locked anyway. Good. Okay. Anti-seize. You got to put anti-seize on your threaded stock that runs your vise back and forth, your auto feed on your vise. And on this particular saw, you can't, whenever you run it, I can't pick that up right now. Whenever you run it, this little clip wants to turn this way because that's the way the screw's turning. And this clamps around that threaded all stock, or all thread, and it's got threads in it. And so that moves your lock on your slide or on your vise up against it. There's like a metal wedge you got to slide over with a bearing and a washer. And you hook this on the other side of the all thread from that, push it up against, and that way when this moves forward, it moves your whole vise forward. And when you first put this on, you have to leave it stuck up like this, but once it gets past the edge of the guy or of the side of the cover, it'll drop down in and then it'll go along the floor of the saw. But this way you just leave it sticking up and it'll turn in on its own. You don't have to worry about it. And that piece of wood I stuck in there to keep my blade guard from catching on the stone and stopping the stone and ruining my clutch on my auto feed. I put that piece of wood on the top, and that allows it to slide up that wood instead of sliding up that jagged edge of the rock where it'll catch. Gives it a ramp. Okay. I'll move that out far enough that it's behind. It sticks out past that clip because I don't want it to drag that in there and then open this all up and I'll have crap splattered all over my cameras. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start it. Okay, here's slab number 4. Had to remember how many it's been so far. I'm gonna go ahead and bust off these chips. Okay, that got all 3 of them at one time. Some of these I'll just tumble. That's what I got left. I'm not going to break this one off just because it doesn't go as far as the last fracture did up in there. At least it doesn't look like it. It only comes down to here on that side and just barely down to here on this side, so you can see the difference. So I'm just going to leave that one on there for now. I may grind it off later or something, but let me get this in the kitty litter. It's actually not kitty litter, it's dry, oil dry. So in other words, it doesn't have all the stink in it to keep the kitty smell out of it. It's basically just chunks of clay. Okay, let me get this set up for the next one. I think the next one's going to be 3/8 or 3/4 Yeah, 3/8 also. Just because. And I still got plenty of rock left here. Well, my little stick's worse for the wear. Actually. This one I gotta be able to see the. I'm gonna be able to see this gap here, because this just pops in there, and you can see it will come out. I've lifted it up some now, but it won't stay in there straight. It sticks out this way, so it's not at a 90 degree, so I have to kind of hold it up against the blade, hold it where it won't be sticking out. Okay. Hold. Good. It didn't go very far. I'll say, don't make me crawl around on my knees. And I don't know why I need to wipe my hands off to pick up this oily cover. Oh, move that back over so I don't get this again. Okay, here's the last, or this is the fifth cab. Fifth cab. Can't even count, ain't that something? And this part broke off of it as it was cutting, so that's what's left of it. I've still got that section to break off, and I still got this piece here. It looks like there is a fracture in there. It might not come all the way across though. Yep, it did. That got it. It also took a chip out of here where this other fracture comes down in here just a little ways, but that's no big deal. Actually, it comes down further than the last one did. It comes down to there on that side. And it kind of wise right there too. Then this side fracture here is still there. It comes down to this far on this side and this far on this side, but I'm able to get away from that. And I got another fracture coming down this way, but it's only on that side. And then this little fracture here doesn't go all the way through, but I got a feeling that this is going to chip off, which is basically the outside inner bark. But anyway, let's go ahead and get another one started. And I'm going to have to take a couple of these out after I get done here, or after I get this one started. Let's do another 3/8. When I started that last one, it's shifted or something. I don't think it actually shifted. I think what it was the this came up like this because it was trying to move forward, and I'd forgot to put my wood, which is broke again, in underneath my blade guard, and it got stuck, and I had to get a hammer out to knock the wedge back that holds it, that keeps it running, in order to get it out. It's like I'm only going to get a couple more cabs off of it, or a couple more slabs off this. But anyway, that other one was, I should have showed you that. It's thicker on this end than it is on this end. And I think that's what resulted from me not putting the wood onto my blade guard. So I had a heck of a time getting it out of there. Got it to move once, but it didn't move far enough to get it off the blade. So it may have curved the blade. I don't know how it did that, but it did. It may have shifted my rock too. I'm going to get probably maybe 3 more cabs off of this before I have to spin it around and glue it to a board. Because I don't think I'm going to be able to, because it's shaped like this on the top and kind of flat on the bottom. Not flat enough, it's still got a point on the top and the bottom, so it's hard to get it. It's not a sharp point on the bottom, but that's why I've got all these little wedges around to stick underneath it on the back side on the vise itself in order to help it hold better. Sometimes that works, sometimes it loosens up. I tightened it down with a pair of channel locks this time, and it's still tight, but I don't know why it curved it like that and made it thinner on one side than the other. Maybe my whole thing shifted because it does come out from this side wall on the slider that's like this long that holds it in. I'd move the camera, but it's on a tripod. Anyway, let me go ahead and start this one. Oh, I need to put some more oil in there real quick. That last one was pretty hot when I got it out of there. That last slab. And I don't know if that's because of the way it was grinding or what the heck it was. Let me go ahead and start this cut so that it doesn't slide sideways on me. That might have been what it was. Hey, there's the 6th cab. Could have swore I'd guard that or wipe that off. This one here really got to me. I shouldn't say got to me. I missed that. How did I miss that? Anyway, when I had it in there, it's in this way, so this is the way it was cutting. But the vise kind of rose up on the saw blade like this, and it stopped going. It had gone all the way as far as it could go, but it had tilted this up. The small wedge I had in the back of it came out, one of these small wedges. I had two back there because I had one on each side because it pointed down. Although this one doesn't look like it does. Maybe it was this way. No, it was this way. It was further back that it curves down like this. I broke off the two chips that were here, or the two fractures that were here on all of them. This fracture here, I don't know if I want to bust off or not because it doesn't go to this side. So it might chip out this way and leave a real thin edge out here. So I'm just going to wait on that. This edge, when I don't know if that happened when I was cutting it or what that was from. But that's a chip there that came out of a fracture that was there, because I did have short fractures. There's not one on this other side. Well, maybe there is. I just can't really see it all that good with the oil on it. But two more chips for the tumbler. And I think I'm going to have to redo this. I don't know. It's still tight, but that slab is also a lot thicker. This one went crooked. This is the fifth one. This is the sixth one, and look how much thicker that is. Well, actually it doesn't look. It's only about a 1/16 of an inch thicker than this one was. That may have been my adjustment on that end of the adjustment guide for getting a 3/8 inch. This piece, I have no idea what to call it. It's got a magnet in it. It just sticks to the blade. Then you stick it over it sticks over the edge of the blade. Then you roll your blade back in till it meets up with it. This one doesn't set right. I'm gonna have to do some carving on it. I just haven't done it yet. I keep forgetting it. I'm good about that stuff. Let me go ahead and get these back in here. Or put this one in here and get the other one back in there. I've got the other three out. 4 out. They're in degreaser. Now let's see what I can do here. Get that back in there. Okay, this is the last one off of there. And this chip came off when I set it down on the table. But it's the last one I'm going to take off there, and I may just go ahead and finish this up. Oh, this one's got all kinds of fractures. We got this fracture here. And that fracture continues down this way also. Then we got this one that comes up from here and goes over to here. This one that comes in here and goes over to there. Quite a few fractures on there. Maybe you can see them. See if you can spot them. I've also found out that I had to open the door. It got so misty in here from this oil. I've got oil all over all the stuff I got sitting over there by my cabin machine, and didn't realize that it was doing that before. I've never noticed it. I don't know if it has something to do with this particular stuff or. That gets kind of wedged in there when it turns sideways. Some screws chew on that all thread chews on the inner holes, or on the inside of the holes. Okay, let's get that out of there. And my 2 wedges. Set them over here. I think this one here, I may just, depending on what this side of it looks like on the face, I may just polish this and make it a sample too. That way, if somebody wants to get it, they can, if they want, they can cut it up and make more cabs out of it or whatever. I've done that a few times. Bought a, matter of fact, this the next piece I'm going to cut, I'm not going to be able to cut these unless I take some more off of them because they're too wide to fit in between. This one's not, but it's just too badly shaped, and this is the side I do believe I need to start to cut on because that's the only window that's there, and I can't really tell which way the lines are going to go in it or the patterns or anything like that. So what I'll do is cut off that face and then maybe glue it to a board. And this one here, it would be wide enough if this little ear, oops, if this little ear here wasn't there. I think I can cut that off and still get decent looking cabs. These are, well, this is going to be flat-sided cabs more than likely. But what I'll do is once I cut that off, I'll stick it in the saw this way where this is the back. And then I should be able to clamp it on this side with it facing out where the blade starts cutting here. And we'll go from there and see what happens. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this off real quick while I've got this empty. And then see if I can fit it in there because it's kind of an ordeal. I don't want to get my water saw out and fill it up and all that stuff and have to empty it just for one little cut. So I'll tip that up right there. Okay, it's got to come this way just a touch. Now let's, no, it won't lock in right there, but at least it's held up. And I can go ahead and cut this off. I got that piece cut off. The way the saw kept shutting off or kept stopping, I think I need to tighten my belt. And I don't want to have to do that just yet, but it hasn't stopped on me any other time, so I wasn't pushing all that hard, but with the way it was sitting on the table, I may have twisted it and pinched and kinked the blade to make it stop, although it didn't seem like it. There's a little piece I took off. There's where the light comes through that. It's got a few fortification lines down this side right here, but other than that, I'm going to go ahead and make a little cab out of it though, freeform something. If not just tumble it, one of the two. I'm going to go ahead and cut this one first. This is that piece of petrified wood that I bought at the rock shop in Macanda. It was on my last cutting video. I just cut it in half. But because this shows light through, it's all agatized. You can see that yellow. That's the light bleeding into the stone, not reflecting off the face of the stone. But I'm going to cut this down at least in half. Maybe try to get 2 sets of cabs or 2 more cabs to make it 3 total. Because this should fit in there fairly easy. In the vise. I'll do it first and then As I'm still not sure whether I can get that other agate in here. I might have to find somebody with a bigger saw and ask them to cut it for me. I don't know yet. I could go with a thinner piece of wood on the top of this, which wouldn't be that big of a deal. I've got some plywood laying around. Yeah, it's not going to fit in there. It probably, once I get it in there too, because this sticks up so far, my saw vise, the base of it sticks up so high it puts the top of the stone. If the stone was sitting on the table, I could get all the way through the saw, but with it sitting on top of that, I'm not going to be able to get all the way through the saw, plus it's not going to mount up there, so that was pretty much a waste of time. Okay, let me go ahead and put this one in there. I'm going to put this one in there with the smooth side in so I can get the right cabs off of it. Let me take this all the way off real quick. Oh, guess I better put both of these in my oil dry. What'd you stick that on there for, dummy? Yeah. Well, I got oil all over the floor over there too. Oh well. That's why I got the rubber down. Just remind me not to walk there, will you? Thank you, I appreciate it. Okay. Okay. Oh, sorry, I almost forgot about you. I'm going to leave you out here in the cold. Okay. Oh, sorry, I almost forgot about you. I'm going to leave you out here in the cold. Okay, we got another slab here. I kind of like the patterns on this. You can see the fractures. This one goes all the way across, and then this one comes all the way through here. So I'm going to have 1, 2, 3 cabs out of each slice. I don't know if I want to try to break it now or just wait and, yeah, what the heck. Maybe that was some kind of glue they put on it. Maybe I won't have to break that up. I think I want to though, even if I have to cut it, just because it's not all the same. Okay, let me get another slab off of here. Okay, I'm back. I guess I did have one of them come out a little crooked. I've kind of figured I would. It wasn't the one I expected. It was the last piece that was in there that was a little crooked. The piece I cut looks even all the way across this way. This side looks maybe just a tad bit thicker. This one here is a little bit different though. It's a little, quite a bit, a little bit thicker, a little bit more thick than the other one. But anyway, there's the slabs. They don't seem to have changed much, other than they're getting to be a little bit more lighter stuff in this section here on some of them. But that's all the slices for today. I may go ahead and add the video where I shape my dop cabs off of these other pieces I cut, and so you can see me do that, and then I'll dop some of those and make them. I can make 2 or 3 or 4 of those on the same video mostly. At least I have in the past. Especially the thinner ones. Not as much grinding, not as much shaping. Okay, I wanted to show you the cabs, or the slab, what I did with the slabs. I've got quite a few chunks, small chunks left over that I'm just going to tumble. I don't think there may be a few in there that I can make some freeform cabs out of, but this is one of the biggest ones I did. It's not one of the thick ones, but it chipped off on me back here, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to use it. I maybe what I'm going to do is shape it down to the edge of my line, and then see how much of a girdle I've got here, you know, which would be the part that stays 90 degrees to the back face, and then you start tapering the rest of it off. And I'm doing that without even looking to see what I'm talking about. I can't look both places. But this has also got a fracture here going down through there. Another one here. I may not be able to do anything with this one. This was one of the last pieces. I started getting more fractures in there, but I kind of like the, I don't have my water with me. I kind of like the looks of this though. You know, this looks, you can see what looks like real thin slivers of wood coming across this way. You can see the wood grain running lengthwise down those. And then you can also see the kerf marks, which aren't bad, but I also cut this other big one. Oh, there was a little water. And this is also a thicker one. I'm gonna dome both sides of this one. I don't see too many fractures on it. I did get some CA glue. Yeah, there's a fracture comes across here. Another one I think comes down in here. These look like they might have been fractures at one time or another. They're probably healed. I'm going to, before I put this to the grinder, wow, look at that cut. The shine on that cut. Let's see, let's get over here. There we go. That's a smooth cut. That was with my other saw. That was with my wet saw. And then I've got this one here. This is also out of the same slab. It was the last piece I cut, or this was the end piece that I cut this out of. And I'll just dome this side of it, leave this side of it flat. I'm pretty sure. I'm not positive. I may dome both sides, but I'm not going to have as much on this end as I would up here on these sides. Okay, and then I did the round one. And I'm going to do these. I'm going to do at least 2 or 3 of these, maybe. Another round one. This was a different end. Those are in. Oh, that's marker. I was wondering what those black dots were. I don't know about this stuff here. This broke off before I could cut when I was cutting it. So this through here might tend to flake too. So I'm gonna put CA glue on all of these and stabilize them. There we go. Wet gives you a little better idea on the color, but I should have got up and got my water. I'm trying to get this done with tonight so I can edit it tomorrow. It's 9:15, 9:25, something like that now. Then I did some smaller, 2 smaller ones, and they didn't fracture too bad on me. This one here came a little bit over, but I don't think it's going to affect anything because I'll dome this side of it. This side's going to stay flat. So what I usually do is mark the side I'm going to put the dop stick on so I can get the dop stick in the center. Makes it easier that way. I don't know if yeah, I did show you that one. And there's this one, another little smaller one. I've got a couple that I can make. These are both the same size. That's what it was. I can make an earring with these and this earring and necklace set out of the 3 of those. Keep those together. This one here also I'm going to have to readjust my cab marker and cut this out later because it fractured off back here on the back side, and I think it's way too far back in to be able to stay on my line because it broke off part of my line. Oh, let me show you that. Sorry. And it's a pretty jagged fracture, and the fracture still goes across this way. Although it's going to be slanted just like the other face. It's the same fracture. It just didn't all break off because it stops right there. And then these ones here, I haven't tried breaking them yet. I showed you these when they were oily. This is after they've been cleaned off. I wonder if how this camera does on the flashlight part of it. And I should have got my water so that I could wet these down. Trying to make the video still stay short, but I didn't film a lot of the cutting. I didn't film any of the actual cutting itself on the other video, or on the rest of the video when I cut them. This is the end piece from that agate that I did the dopped cabs that I'm going to do the dop cabs out of, not agate, petrified wood, sorry. I'm just going to polish this one as a sample because it's got so many fractures all through it, and I don't know how deep they go. I don't know, and there's quite a few still on this face too. This one comes all the way across, this one comes in, there's one here that comes up and splits off this way. This was the one that well, never mind. It was one of the cabs that I did earlier. I may have showed this. That's why I remember that. I probably showed that one at the end when I finished cutting them. But anyway, that's the rocks for this part. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the outro. I didn't do an outro off the other one either, so. Okay, that's the video. I also forgot to put in one last rock. And I still didn't get up and get my water. I didn't notice this till I moved the little camera here out of the way off my little tripod. This is another piece of that petrified wood that I'm going to make a dopped cab out of. This is the side wow. These glasses don't focus out very far at all. But I'll dome this side of this one. But anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. Let me know what you think of these videos. Let me know what you like, what you want to see, what you don't want to see. Whether they're too long, too short. Because I could put in all of the footage if you want to sit for 5-6 hours worth of footage on some of these. I don't think you want to. I'd be ranting not ranting, but yakking the whole time. Let's put it that way. I don't have many people to talk to, so I talk to the camera or talk to myself. I answer myself too, but I'm not crazy. As far as you know. Anyway, thanks for watching and have a good day.